Okay, so you finally got the interview. You worked this hard, you applied, you sent in your applications, and they sent you an email or a phone call back, and they're like, hey, you got an interview, we want to know you better. And now your heart's beating like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? How do I prepare? And you're scrambling, and you found this video, so congratulations. So we're going to be going over how to crush the interview so you can get accepted into physical therapy school.
Yeah, it's one shot, now the future is yours. Go! I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the...
What's going on, guys? My name is Coleman. I'm a physical therapist and the co-founder of Pre-PT Grind, and you're here because you saw the title, and the title had the word interview in it, and you have an interview, and now you're freaking out, and you're like, how do I prepare? So let's go through a few steps so you can crush your interview and get accepted, okay? So here's how we're gonna break down the video. Number one, questions you should prepare for. Okay, so write that down. Questions you should prepare for. Number two, questions to ask. Questions to ask when they get to that part of the interview. So any questions you have for us, you can be prepared. Then number three, we'll go into confidence in how to conduct yourself and just make a good impression in the interview. So 3 quick steps in this video. All right, you guys ready? Let's go. Let's write it down. So number one, questions to prepare for. So there are a bunch of questions out there. You guys can scoundrel the internet and find a bunch of blogs like you probably already have. So all of those are great. So let's just go over a few of the most common questions that we've seen over the past 4 years or so with doing this when preparing for interviews. The most common questions we've seen come up. Will there be others? Will there be some out there that they might just try and trick you and surprise you with? Yes, absolutely. You can't prepare for everything, but let's go over these few questions. All right, so number one, of course, why physical therapy? Why are you doing this? Why are you applying to our school to become a physical therapist? Why are you taking all these prereqs and retaking this and doing all this? So, of course, why physical therapy? Number two, why our school specifically? So they called you in, you have an interview, you're there in your suit or your blouse and you're sweating right now. Just thinking about it, why do you want to go to their school specifically? Okay? The next one. Tell us about a challenging time that happened in your life. And they're asking this really because you got to read between the lines with some of these questions. They're asking you this most likely because they want to see how you overcome failure or overcome a challenging situation that will happen in PT school or in clinicals or as a physical therapist, because it's not going to be a smooth path in PT school. You're going to come up against an obstacle, whether in school or outside of school, that might affect you, and they want to make sure that you've been through a little something in your life so you know how to handle adversity, so you just don't get knocked down while you're in PT school and can't make it through and all that stuff. So how have you handled a challenging situation? Next, what are your goals as a physical therapist? Okay, you're in physical therapy school, you got in, you got accepted, but after that, then what? Is there anything special you want to do? Do you just want to be in the clinic? Do you want to explore the different aspects of physical therapy? How much do you, and they kind of might be asking this to find out how much you know about the physical therapy profession as well. All right, so what goals do you have for physical therapy? Next, any ethical scenario that they might come up with. It might be a question where they're asking about, what if somebody cheated on a test? How would you react? If somebody came to you in a clinical experience scenario and you saw somebody, making innuendos to one of the other staff members, like an ethical situation, how will you respond to that? So just be prepared. With that, there's no real right or wrong answer. They just want to know how you will respond, because you'll probably end up being faced with that in clinicals, in PT school, or as a professional. Then lastly, the one we'll go over is if there's anything in your transcripts or in your grades that you want to explain or go over or tell us about, just be prepared for that. Any withdrawals, any Fs, any extra retakes, this is your time to explain. This is your time to let them know that I can handle PT school. This is what happened there. This is how I've overcome. This is your time to tell them that you're more than your grades and your GPA. So those are just a few questions that have come up over the years for us when preparing for interviews. So definitely be prepared for those. But again, do your due diligence and keep researching wherever you guys would like for extra questions to prepare for. Okay, so keep those in mind. Next, let's get into the next portion, number two, questions to ask. Now, in my opinion, this is the most underrated part of the interview. The most underrated part of the interview, because mostly your research that you're doing right now is, how do I prepare for the questions to be asked, right? How do I prepare for the answers? How do I respond? How do I practice in the mirror or in front of, FaceTime with my friends to make sure that I say the perfect thing, that I don't mess up, that I don't stutter, that I don't have any hiccups in my answer, that I'm just like a robot and I give them exactly what I want. That's the usual interview prep that we try to do, which is fine. It's okay, do your thing. But since you're here on this video, I want to try to put you guys up on some game and tell you and let you know that the questions you ask are much, much more impressive. Okay, just think about it. If you were on that other side of interviewing someone to come into your school and they asked you these great questions that you never thought of or didn't think they would know about to ask, it's game over. So keep these in mind. These are just a few questions that you can ask that might, pique your curiosity or get you going down a rabbit hole to research other information for questions to ask them. Okay, so number one, throw it back at them. Why physical therapy for you, Dr. So-and-so? Why are you in this profession? What called you to this profession? Make them talk. Make them go on, make them remember that fuzzy feeling in their heart when they were a pre-PT, so why PT for them? Next, why this school for them? Why this job? What do they love about this job? Why this school specifically over being in the clinic or being a hospital PT or, doing something else in a different setting? So what do they love about this job? Get them to talk more about themselves, right? Then the next one. So any challenges in physical therapy? Any challenges that you've seen that you had to face over the years or that your students recently or in the past had to make, or anything you see coming down kind of the pipe for us to prepare for? Okay, any challenges that you see in physical therapy? Or on the opposite side, is there anything you see coming down the pipe that is going to be great for our profession and for us specifically coming into this profession? Okay, next. From those challenges, how are you preparing us, your students, your future alumni, to handle those challenges? Anything you're preparing us for, any guest speakers, any adjunct professors, any PDFs, any scholarships that you have for us? Whatever that is, how are you preparing us, the future of the profession, to handle those challenges that you see coming very soon or in the future? Okay? So now that we have those kind of core questions, now forget everything I said. What? Casey, what are you talking? Yes, forget everything I said, because none of those matter if you first don't ask what you care about. Because I'm a physical therapist. You can kind of see back there a little bit. I'm already there. I'm not going to PT school. You are. So what do you care about? What do you want to know about the profession or PT school or from that professor before you pay all this money or this little bit of money, however you view it, to go to that school? What do you want to know? Because my questions don't matter, because I'm not going to PT school. It matters to you. So whether you want to know about the cost of PT school, physical therapy, education, and the clinicals and the faculty and staff, whether you want to know about how hot topics in the physical therapy profession are affecting you, whether these spark your interest or not, I don't care what it is, ask what you care about first. Ask what you want to know, because you're the customer and this is your money and this is your time that you're investing. So scrap all that and write down first what you want to know. Then if you need some more questions to ask and you need something in your back pocket to kind of pull out, now you can ask those questions as well. Little pro tip, the more you know about the profession, the better questions you'll have as well. So I'll let you guys do your homework and type in physical therapy into podcasts, into Google, into blogs, ask your physical therapist, observation hour people, or whoever you know about what's going on in the profession, because the more you know, the better questions you'll have, because you just have more you have more to work with. But if you don't know nothing and you're like, oh, I just observed here and I saw them do this, then you got nothing. You got nothing. So current events, hot topics, what's going on in the profession, good and bad, all that stuff. So you can then have a high level conversation with the physical therapist or the faculty member that's interviewing you. Okay, so learn as much as you can. Learn as much as you can. Lastly, to end this video, number 3, let's talk about confidence. All right, so confidence in your interviews. What I want you guys to do is either rewatch this video or find your favorite podcast interview or a boring interview or a fun interview. I don't care what it is. Find something online or on YouTube where somebody is having a conversation with someone else. Okay, whether that's the conversation with you guys in the camera or someone else there. And just keep in mind how they're interacting with the other person. Am I very robotic? Am I paused? Am I smiling? Are they smiling? Are they thinking about the questions and answers? Or are they very tense? Are they very scripted? So just keep in mind how they are and how their body language is, how their tone is, how their pauses are, and whatever you like in that interview style, and say, oh, they're really crushing it. They're really doing well here. I love the vibe that they're giving off. Try to emulate that in your interviews as well, so you can have that same confidence, because in the interview, a lot of what's going on, a lot of what they're picking up and you're picking up from them is the body language. So if you're there kind of swiveling in the chair back and forth, they'll pick up on it. If you're fidgeting with your hands, they'll pick up on it. I know you're scared, I know you're nervous, I know you're tense, but the more you can keep it relaxed and confident and normal, the more they'll pick up on that and the better the interview will go. Because honestly, an interview is just a conversation. So relax, take some tips from other people and how they're doing interviews that you like, and just keep that in mind, because that's how you want to conduct your interview as well. So keep all 3 of those in mind for going into the interviews that you have or interview that you have, and you guys will do great. You guys will do amazing. So again, number 1, we went over the questions to prepare for. Number 2, we went over the questions to ask. Then number 3, we went over kind of how to keep in mind how to conduct yourself and how to stay calm and confident, and how to pick up on tips from other people in interviews so that you can do the same and just exude that comfortability and that normalness and that confidence going forward. So hope you enjoyed this video. Like, share, subscribe, do all the online stuff to help this video reach as many people as possible. And we appreciate you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.